40inbox.com, and we're going to be checking out this TikTok clip by the user Paul Castro Jr., where he basically unboxes, well, on envelopes, these residual checks that he got as an actor, which I thought it'd be pretty interesting to see.
I've seen so many of these actor residual check videos, and while it's so cool watching people open things from very big budget projects, 10, 20 years ago and showing how much money they've made, that's not the reality for the majority of actors, okay? So I assembled a bunch of unopened, so this is not.
Which, I think this is like an interesting point because, like, there are some actors where they probably had a really nice part in a very big movie or TV show where they are like for maybe not now making a lot of money, but probably like within like the 5-10 years after that show or movie aired, where it had like a lot of traction, they were probably making like really good income from these residual checks. Because you got to keep in mind, like the way to kind of like view it is like they basically have like almost like a house that is like paying them rent every month for any time is being used or rented out. Like that's the way to kind of like look at it. So like in a way, it's basically like passive income or income for work that you have done previously, which by the way, 90% of people don't have like an income situation like this. For example, probably the job that has a very similar type of like income structure is like maybe like an insurance agent or broker, where like you make good money, I think, from like the sales of these like insurance policies, but you also make recurring money if the person stays on the policy for multiple years. So technically speaking, I think like some insurance agents could basically be making, like after like a few decades of being there and like having their own practice, could basically be like bringing in like a few $100,000, if not $1 million a year, without basically doing anything due to the residual income. So let's continue.
This is not pre-planned. I've got like 5 residual checks right now to show you what it's like for the average working actor, someone who does co-stars, guest stars, works on video games, commercials, things that are for the majority of journeyman actors. So here we go. I'm going to open these right now and show you.
Basically meaning he's not a big actor.
So it's not planned. All right, first up here, let's try and open these quickly without showing any prominent information here. Let's get right to the check. This is for foreign extended use for the show The Blacklist.
Which, by the way, The Blacklist is an amazing show.
Episode Ivan. Okay, what do we got here? Ba-da-ba-ba-da-da-da. We've got $1
$1. Okay.
and 68 cents.
$1.68 is better than zero.
$1.68 for the show The Blacklist Ivan. I had a small co-star role on Blacklist Ivan. For extended use means that they're doing something overseas. Next,
Oh, that's interesting. So for extended use, that means it's overseas. So probably getting like shown in maybe like Japan, Korea, Brazil, or something like that.
up we've got for an extended use Blue Bloods Unbearable Loss.
Oh wow, this guy was part of Blue Bloods too.
That was a guest star, I believe. We've got, alrighty, this is another amazing check here for the total of 71 cents.
71 cents. Okay. So obviously, if you don't really have like a good role, or if the show's not getting good viewership or use, or again, you don't have like a main role with a really good contract, you're probably not getting paid good amounts of money. So like for example, probably the actors who played in like the SVU, like Law and Order SVU, probably are making really good residuals because they were getting paid, I think, close to like $600,000 an episode in form of their like income. So they probably got some really good residuals.
Ba-da-ba. So what are we at? $2 and change here, I believe. $3 maybe. Third one coming up right here. Let's see what we got. This is for. Okay, this is for a little bit of a longer thing here. We've got Law and Order for basic cable, electronic sell-through, foreign extended use, internet rental, video DVD,
Oh, geez, that's like a lot of things it's getting used for.
internet free, and pay TV. But guess what? The only one that's paying is for the basic cable.
The only one that's paying for, is for the basic cable. How does that even make sense? That like they're not paying for any other use?
I want to show you guys this here real quick, okay? I'm going to show you this thing, all this stuff right here. You see all
That's so weird. So it's getting used in so many different spots in areas like on the internet and all that kind of stuff, but the only one that is actually making money is the cable, which I guess kind of like makes sense because like I guess like I've heard from a producer that explained the whole like TV show kind of game is that if you get a show approved and put on cable on one of the main stations, you could easily have like a 30-50 million dollar per season show. Like you could just like literally just pocket that money like crazy.
all that? All those zeros for Law and Order. And then it's 3206 is what I would have gotten. But in actuality, I'm getting 1810. All right, I got a little bit more
Well, at least that's like over $10 at least.
time left. So we're at like 20 bucks. We've got two more. This is from Lionsgate. This is for the Skeleton Twins, a movie that I did, independent movie. This is, again, a bunch of zeros, but I'm getting it for paid TV. This one is actually a little bit of a bigger one.
Paid TV.
41.93.
41.93. Interesting.
41.93. And last but not least, let's see if I can get this in. All of these in here at the time. Last one. So we're at like 18 and 40. That's like 50 bucks almost. All right, this is for Blue Bloods again. Internet marketing fee, basic cable, rental SVOD, electronic, blah, blah, blah. And the last one here is for $9.27.
So total is about $74. Which again, like it sounds bad, right? Because it kind of is. But this is still money that he's made from work that he's done in the past. So I think the fact that he's able to bring in money regardless is pretty cool when you think about it, right? Because again, most people don't have anything like this remotely, right? So for example, let's say that you're someone who's working like hard labor, right? You don't got this, right? Let's say that you're working at like a fast food restaurant. You don't got this, right? Let's say that you're in just like general sales. You probably don't got this. Now, if you get some sort of sales, whether you have some sort of split of like recurring revenue, okay, maybe you got it. But typically, the majority of people that work for a living don't have this. They just get paid for the work that they did, like paid for the hour. So I really think that like maybe actors really need to maybe pay attention or get some good lawyers on their side or managers on their side to like make sure that they get a really good contract or have the contract worded in a way that would really pay them well. So for example, I heard of a story of like a big actor like years ago where they said that they did not want to get paid a large income check for like the work that they were doing, but they wanted some sort of points on the back end. Like they wanted a higher residual payout than just the income portion, right? Like so basically like let's say that they were like getting offered like I don't know, like just as an example, like let's say that they were offered like I think it was for like a movie. Let's say that they were offered like 20 million to do like the acting role in a movie, but that's it with no residuals. I believe it was like a situation where like they basically took like 1 million for like the like actual income, but had like a crazy residual kind of thing. because there's like basically like they really didn't know how well it was actually going to go. The guy was like I think a big actor or something like that, so he could have worked his like contract in a way to be able to do it. So even though he made not much money on the front end of the stuff, I mean a million is still nice, but like I'm just using it as like an example. I don't remember the exact numbers, but like he didn't make like a really good front end payout compared to what he could have gotten, but the like movie ended up doing so well like a year, 2 years, 5 years down the line in terms of like being bought in store, being like streamed, etc. That the person made like I think like a 50 million or like $100 million from the residuals. Now again, obviously I'm just like pulling that from like the memory, but like there are actors that do that. I mean, you could probably look it up, right? So actors who took high residual payouts but low front end pay. Let's see. Hmm. Residual entertainment industry. Let's see. Let's see. Residual payments can sometimes be very small. If the role is small, the movie or show was not successful. Okay, I think this is like kind of like similar to what I was saying. So let's see. Bob Gunton, who played Warden Norton in The Shawshank Redemption, noted that the movie, one of the most rerun films, generated close to six figures in residuals for him in 2004, 10 years after the movie was released, and even as of 2014, that he continued to receive a very substantial income. And so let's see. So in 2014, actor Lisa Kudrow of Friends was ordered to pay 1.6 million to her former manager, who argued that he was owed 5% of Kudrow's residuals earnings from work that he negotiated. And using figures that were publicly disclosed, one analyst estimated Kudrow's residuals to be at least 2.3 million and likely much higher. Yeah, I was kind of hoping to like find something that I was talking about, but specifically, but it's just been so long, like years ago. But pretty much like depending on how these actors are like setting up their contracts, they could like make like a really good amount of money. Hold on, wait, hold on. Let's see. So principal performers generally get larger residuals. In fact, the more prominent the actor, the more generous the residual. So big stars like Tom Cruise, for example, would get a portion of DVD sales in addition to his regular residuals. Yeah, so like if you're someone who's like a really big like name or you got like a really big following, you could potentially make some probably pretty crazy money. So, I guess if you were to get into the whole like acting thing, maybe try to find a way that you get a good front end, but a really nice back end because you just never know. Maybe something gets picked up and you just make crazy amounts of money a year later or like 5 years later, which is pretty nice, right? Just something to think about.